All right, the World Cup is over. LeBron's going to be in Cleveland, and we are in Minnesota. We got ourselves one of the highlights of the summer. Welcome to the 2014 Gillette Home Run Derby. You can't shave without a little lather. You got to get a little moisture going, and that's what we have here. But the good news for the fans that are wearing the rain slickers, the skies are beginning to clear. We got some blue above us, and the field is starting to get itself prepared as we are preparing for one of the great shows of the summer. $29 years ago, a $2 donation to charity got you to the Metrodome, where you got a chance to watch 5 guys see how far they could hit a ball. Tom Brunansky was on that team. Carlton Fisk, Jim Rice, Eddie Murray, Cal Ripken, Dave Parker, Jack Clark, Steve Garvey, all those great names. Dale Murphy and Ryan Sandberg. And here we are, nearly 3 decades later, and beautiful Target Field has appeared. And here we are, above the right field wall, as we welcome you to our set here as we get set for the 2014 Gillette Home Run Derby. Welcome, everybody. Really a cool night here, and, of course, the All-Star Game tomorrow night. The Hall of Famer is Barry Larkin. Aaron Boone will hear from Pedro Gomez and Buster Olney over the course of this hour as we get set to see 10 guys see how far and how often they can hit a ball over the wall. Little different format, guys, and this certainly could play into some strategy. Instead of the 10 outs that we're all used to, 7 outs. Players who hit the most home runs in each league receive a bye to the 3rd round. So you get 5 guys in the American, 5 in the National, and their goal is to out-hit everybody, and as a result, they'll get a bye to the 3rd round. The next 2 in each league will have to square off against each other to face the guy that hit the most, and then the winners will face each other from the American and National League to decide a champion. Jose Bautista is one of the favorites, and he's a favorite when it comes to the rules.
You obviously want to take the least amount of swings that you can. So if that means trying to go all out in the first round and skip the second, that's, I think, going to be a benefit later on. The new format is pretty cool. I like the whole, challenge with the bracket. So I think people are going to like it too. And more importantly, hopefully we can all put a great show on tonight and raise a lot of money for these charities.
There is money to be raised for the charities. The Gillette, Major League Baseball get involved. New rules, all right? So the idea is hit as many as you can in the first round and get a break and let 2 of your teammates beat up against each other.
Yeah, I think that's the only strategy at this point. There's no carryover. You go out there and you hit the most home runs. You're sitting pretty until round 3.
Yeah, I love that there's no carryover, so we can celebrate each and every round, but we're rewarding that guy that goes off in that round with some good rest, put him in the driver's seat. That's the way it should be, but without the carryover. I think these tweakings of the rules are perfect and much needed.
Because most people remember Josh Hamilton at Yankee Stadium hit like 28 in the first round, but then he had to come right back in the second round. Right. Under this format, he would get a break and wait to see who he's got to face from the American League. 10 guys, Bautista and Tulowitzki were the captains. This has been dominated by left-handed batters, and in this home run derby, there's only one lefty. That's Justin Morneau. 14 of the last 18 derby winners have been lefties. We got Pedro Gomez and Buster Olney there down in the field, and we say hello to both, and we'll start with you, Buster.
Carl, Giancarlo Stanton is considered to be the favorite in this event because of how far he hits the ball, and he might actually have something of a home field advantage because the guy who's going to be throwing to him tonight is his manager of the Miami Marlins, Mike Redmond, who throws to him every day and also played here for 5 years with the Minnesota Twins. Now, oftentimes in the Derby, it can be determined by how nervous the pitcher is because the hitter doesn't have anything to hit. Well, he's not going to do that much damage. In the case of Mike Redmond, he's probably not going to be very nervous. Now, Redmond told me that Stanton tends to hit the ball in batting practice right through the center of the field, and you see the conditions. It's raining a little bit, it's a little bit windy, and maybe the best place to hit the ball, in theory, would be in left field. But as Jonathan Lucroy and Carlos Gomez and other members of the National League All-Star team told me, in the case of Giancarlo Stanton, that doesn't matter at all because that's how great his power is. Pedro, what you got?
Buster, Another guy who could have an advantage is Adam Jones of the Orioles. Now, Adam Jones has been being thrown to by Jet Ruiz, who's a childhood friend of his from San Diego. They got together. They've been throwing to each other for years, but about a month ago, Ruiz got to Baltimore and has been throwing to Jones. Now, I also spoke to Mike Trout, who is a big fan favorite. A lot of people would love to see him in the home run derby. He says he's not quite ready yet, but he did tell me in the near future, I plan to be in a home run derby. So that's something to look forward to maybe next year. Josh Donaldson and last year's champion Yoenis Cespedes over the weekend in Seattle took batting practice before all the A's came out without the cage. The biggest reason, obviously, is because the home run derby, you don't hit with the cage, whereas you hit the other 162 days during the season with the cage over your head. Cespedes said it definitely takes some getting used to. Jose Bautista, who's now in his third home run derby, told me the biggest thing you have to do in these things is relax. He says the first 2 years that I did it, I was jumpy, I was anxious. I'm going to take pitches if they're not where I want them. So look for Bautista to possibly.
Pedro, thank you very much. He was the runner-up in 2012, Bautista to Prince Fielder. So you have a sport that's been dominated, or at least a competition, by lefties, and the American League has dominated recently. 6 of the last 7 have come from the American League. But when you go into this derby, and you got Stanton, and you got Puig, and you got Morneau coming back home, it's about as excited as I've been for a derby in a long time, because they can hit it 400 or 500 feet.
You know, each and every year that you put on this home run derby, you say, I'm looking forward to seeing this one particular guy, maybe these couple of guys. Well, there's 10 guys I'm excited to see. Even Brian Dozier,
Yep.
you know, a guy that a lot of people around the country don't know about, but this is a young man that has plenty of power.
Plenty of power, and the hometown crowd, you know, is going to be getting behind him. But Cespedes, the reigning champ, Yasiel Puig,
right.
How excited are we to see him? But Giancarlo Stanton, I think, is the marquee draw superhero in the box.
We'll talk much more about Giancarlo Stanton as we see Charlie Blackmon of the Colorado Rockies getting in to take his cuts. Only got 10, though, competing tonight. And the winner will take home the home run derby title. Will Cespedes be the guy to back up what Griffey did in 98-99 and win it all? We'll focus on the game. Who gets the nod to start? Felix and Wainwright. What about Kershaw? Mike Trout, Andrew McCutchen, and the captain Derek Jeter, all preparing for a showdown tomorrow night. We'll hear from Jeter in just a little bit. Stanton, Bautista, Yasiel Puig, the right-handed power in this thing. But Morneau is coming home. Only Jim Thomey's hit more in this ballpark than that guy. And speaking of left-handed power hitters, Prince and the Dreads in 2012. Dead Central. He put on a show. Who will be the Prince of this year's contest? Will continue from Target Field.
When you have looks that kill, 550 horsepower at your disposal, and complete control of the situation, there's really no need to shout. Unless, of course, you really want to. The F-Type Coupe from Jaguar. Oh, it's good to be bad.
For great offers, visit your local Jaguar retailer today.
We're stuck outside on Purge Night. What are we gonna do? Oh my God.
Purge Anarchy takes the promise of the original to a terrifying new level.
They're coming. Just remember all the good the Purge does.
Rated R.
Summer is loaded with little adventures. So make the most of every sun-filled summer day with a refreshing Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. It's crisp beer with the natural flavor of lemonade that says, come on by, without having to say a single word. Our family's been brewing beers in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin for 6 generations. And this one says summer. So grab a summer shandy and join us out here.
How cool is it that new DiGiorno Design a Pizza Kit lets us create our own pizza?
And use delicious DiGiorno toppings like pepperoni, sausage, and peppers.
And we made it look just like Billy?
I don't see it.
New DiGiorno Design a Pizza Kit lets you create the pizza you want. Thankfully, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Super Tuesday at Joseph A. Bank. Almost everything in the store is buy one, get 2 free. And Traveler dress shirts and sport shirts are 3 for $99. Suits, sport coats, dress shirts, ties, pants, sport shirts, polo shorts, and more. Buy one, get 2 free at Joseph A. Bank.
This is Macaroni Grill's head chef.
This is his sister in Italy. She's a rival chef who dared him to take chicken parmesan and make it a meatball. New rustic kitchen meatballs. Classic Italian flavors rolled into meatballs and served over imported Italian spaghetti.
Let's try on a new coat, one that covers better, lasts longer, and protects us from the elements, inside and out. Let's go to the place with the best paint, take it home for less, then rock and roll. Let's do the one thing that changes everything. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Bare Premium Plus Ultra Interior starts at $31.98 a gallon.
This movie gets me every time.
Me too.
I love Field of Dreams.
Your iPod's running.
Yeah, it does that. I gotta go call my dad. What's up, fellas?
Bryce. Bryce? Man, he looks tough with that eye black, right? Scary. Beast.
Getting together for a great cause? Priceless. Spend $10 or more with your MasterCard when you dine out, and MasterCard will donate up to $4 million to Stand Up to Cancer, one precious cent at a time.
Welcome back, Minnesota. Time for the Taste of the Town, brought to you by MasterCard and one of the famous landmarks, Matt's Bar and Grill, a Minneapolis landmark that started in '54 as a neighborhood burger eatery. Shortly after they opened, Matt Bristol explains how the Juicy Lucy was created. Look at those bad boys.
Call it the Juicy Lucy.
Customer asked for 2 hamburger patties, slice of cheese in the middle. He bit into it, molten hot burger, and said, "That's one Juicy Lucy." Taste of the Town is brought to you by MasterCard, helping the fight against cancer with your MasterCard this summer. Learn more at priceless.com/causes. Target Fields version of the old Juicy Lucy, which looks a little less.
Yeah.
This is like Juicy Lessie. We'll have a bite of that in just a moment, but burgers are a big, big play here in the Midwest.
The Juicy Lucy is in my future. I had the fried walleye last night, so Juicy Lucy's on the list.
I think I might have to join you on that one.
So you embrace the community you're in.
Oh, absolutely.
In every which way. Meantime, Adam Wainwright is going to start for the National League. Mike Matheny says, look, I know him, I trust him. He's a workhorse, and he wins a lot. 12 wins this season. Clearly, this was a very easy decision for Matheny, but made more difficult by how great Clayton Kershaw has been. There's a big honor in being named the starter, and Wainwright gets the nod. For more on that, let's send it down to the field. That's where we find our own Juicy Lucy, if you will. Hey, Tim.
Thank you, Carl. Adam Wainwright has won 2 World Series rings, and he's finished in the top 3 of the Cy Young voting 3 different times. And now he gets his first start in the All-Star game.
Aside from having the ability to win 2 World Series with the St. Louis Cardinals, I think this has got to be one of the highlights of my baseball career to this point. Just one of the coolest things I could ever say I did was to start the Big League All-Star game, and I'm just incredibly happy and fortunate to be placed in this situation. I can't wait to go out and hopefully lead our National League squad to a victory.
The numbers line up, and it's obvious that this is a high caliber pitcher who I believe in some degree has never been even given the amount of respect that he's due. So I'm honored to be able to put this title on him and watch what he does, not just with this, but with the remainder of our season.
Wainwright leads the league in ERA, and in his first 18 starts this year, in 9 of them, he allowed no runs in at least 7 innings. No pitcher in baseball history has done that 9 out of 18 times to start a season. That's how good he has been.
Tim, thank you very much. This is, again, a difficult call, but I think made it a lot easier. The guy wears the same uniform, and there's, one thing you guys always talk about in baseball is trust. You can trust Kershaw, but you know Wainwright. What do you think led to this, let's go with Adam thing?
Well, one of the advantages is your manager kind of rewarding his player.
Right,
And Matheny obviously being the manager. But, the numbers tell the reason why he's starting. You can see the ERA. You know, this guy is a workhorse. I go back to Chris Carpenter, and Booney, you and I both had the opportunity to compete against him. Wainwright is now the Chris Carpenter. He is the guy. He is kind of the horse. Not so much in stuff, not 100-mile-an-hour stuff, but in his presence on the mound, how he goes about his job. I'm sure in the clubhouse he's a leader as well. He leads by example. You see the things that he does on the bench to keep the guys loose. And he's a really good pitcher.
And he personifies, I think, what the St. Louis Cardinals have been all about over the last decade. And it's kind of that torch being passed from Carpenter to Wainwright. And Wainwright's been one of the true aces in our game for the last several seasons. He's probably having his best year this year. Clayton Kershaw, best pitcher on the planet.
Yeah.
Reality is, though, he missed 4 or 5 starts in a month going on the disabled list. No issue with them going with Adam Wainwright. And Mike Matheny, the World Series manager last year, an opportunity to reward one of his guys.
5 times since 1996, the starting pitcher, Wainwright in this case, or Felix Hernandez in the American League, has ended up being the winning pitcher in the All-Star game. Matt Cain did it in 2012. You see a trimmer, more fit Troy Tulowitzki. He's one of the guys that could easily win the home run derby. It's actually followed in the footsteps when it comes to eating and health and nutrition. He's not dining on a lot of juicy Lucy's. Novak Djokovic, gluten-free, dairy-free, low sugar.
That's the gluten-free Tulo.
That's the gluten-free Tulo. Here's your National League lineup. Tulowitzki will bat third. You know, third place in the batting order is usually reserved for the best hitter. When you look at that lineup, there's like 9 guys who can hit third.
Yeah, there are. You know, Troy Tulowitzki is a fairly healthy Troy Tulowitzki. That's just been his problem throughout his career. But you're right, all up and down the lineup. There's a lot of exciting players. You talk about exciting players. Yasiel Puig going to be in the home run derby tonight. But this guy and his ability, you can see him going upper tank right there. His ability, Booney, it's that type of player. It's the Andrew McCutchen type of players that bring guys to the ballpark.
There's batting practice. You saw where that ball just went.
I just
I
did.
mean, that ball's second deck.
I think that's what's really exciting about the National League outfield. It's so dynamic. Speed, power, the ability to defend. With Puig, McCutchen, and Carlos Gomez, look out.
Yeah, and we have to turn around because Morneau is up. And we're sitting in a spot where with the wind blowing out, he could easily reach. That one won't. So Morneau is part of the home run derby team, not on the All-Star team. This one's not reaching us either. Felix Hernandez, of course, is now going to start for John Farrell and the American League. And this one didn't have a Kershaw-Wainwright type debate, right?
No.
I mean,
no,
he's head and shoulders.
He is head and shoulders. But you know what? There's a lot of deserving pitchers. You know, his time in the rotation just synced up right, but certainly deserving. He has been somewhat dominant yet again this season for the Mariners. Max
Scherzer, John Lester, Yu Darvish. Let's send it down to Tim on this call to have Felix start the game.
Absolutely. Felix Hernandez has won a Cy Young. He's pitched a perfect game, and now he's going to get his first start in the All-Star game. And as you guys said, he has been the best pitcher in the American League this year.
Just an honor to be here and be part of the July Classic. It's always fun. So I just got to go out there and do what I have to do. Just throw zeros out there to make my team win. And just to be the first Venezuelan guy, it sounds special.
In Hernandez's last 11 starts, he's pitched at least 7 innings and allowed 2 runs or less in all of them. That is the 3rd longest streak over the last 25 years by any pitcher. So not only has he been the best pitcher in the league all year, he comes in as one of the hottest also.
Every time Felix takes the ball in a regular season game, you think no-hit stuff.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, you come out of the game early, but he could do what Pedro did in '99, strike out 5 of the first 6, with all due respect, but he's got that type of stuff.
He does, and he's shown over the years that he has that ability to adjust. So if he doesn't have his best velocity, he can still dominate you with his location, with that great split change, whatever it is he's throwing. But in the American League, it was an easy decision, I think, to go with King Felix. He's led the resurgent Seattle Mariners into playoff contention, and he is, as Tim said, the best pitcher in the American League.
You know, the one thing about all these great pitchers is their ability to finish off hitters. That's why you see the high strikeout. So as a hitter going into the game, especially going into the All-Star game, you think, let me jump on that first pitch fastball. You won't see a lot of counts building simply because you don't want to put yourself in a position to allow these great pitchers to finish you off.
And when King Felix gets ahead of you and gets that 2 strikes, and you know that changeup's coming at the knees,
bye-bye.
Cancel Christmas.
That's right.
Cancel Christmas. Anytime there's underneath best since question mark ever, that's how good Felix is going right now. With an ERA that's coming down, his strikes and walks have been the best ever. His strikeout rate, I mean, every third guy that comes up strikes out.
Well, he's in a division where he's facing the A's, the Angels, even Texas, teams that can really swing the bat. And he's the king right now.
He's maturing, absolutely. Getting better every year.
Pretty impressive batting practice going on now. You got Tulowitzki, who's given away to Stanton, and we saw Puig hit one to the upper deck. That's what the home run derby is going to be about, coming up at the top of the hour. Let's take a look at the American League lineup, and the overarching story has been the presence of the guy that's going to lead off, Derek Jeter, which is going to be a real cool moment. Mike Trout's going to bat second for John Farrell. Cano, who was a Derby champion himself in the past. Cabrera, Bautista Cruz, Adam Jones, Josh Donaldson's, number 3 in the MVP race last year, and Salvador Perez bats 9.
Salvador Perez, I look at this guy, what he's done in Kansas City, behind the plate with the bat. You know what? If he wasn't participating in this home run or in this All-Star game, I would suspect that he would be up here with us, because anytime there's a camera around this young man, hopefully if they don't make it to the postseason, I'm going to say this right now, Salvador Perez, I hope, will come and join us to talk about it if Kansas City isn't in it.
I want to talk about Mike Trout in the 2-hole. The 2-holes kind of become the new spot, with all
instead
the
of the 3 spots,
they love the 2-hole. Well, now you get to see probably the best player in the American League in that 2-hole, highlighting an unbelievable lineup.
The 2-hole is going to be important, but the number 1 hitter is going to be Derek Jeter, who comes in as the number 1 story in his final year. And earlier today, it must have been pretty cool. As a former teammate, you got a chance to actually sit across from him and ask him some questions.
Yeah, earlier I got to ask him about his thoughts on being in his last All-Star game.
The thing I enjoy most about the All-Star games is getting the opportunity to meet the guys that you play against. You don't normally have a chance to converse with during the course of a game or the course of a season. So I've always enjoyed getting to know guys. I've always gone out of my way to introduce myself and talk to them a little bit. And that's what makes it fun for us as players.
Mariano went through this last year, last All-Star game last year. What have you taken from him and what all that he went through and kind of applying it?
Absolutely nothing. I didn't even speak to him about it because, I was injured at the time. I was down in Florida. I saw highlights of the game. I didn't watch the game. It's kind of difficult for me to watch games when I'm not playing. But it's a little bit different. Mo's last All-Star game, he was in New York. So I never come in anything with expectations. I just want to come, enjoy myself, have fun, and whatever happens, happens.
All right, when you close your eyes at night and think of that last regular season game this year at Yankee Stadium, do you have a picture or a vision of what that's going to be like?
I don't want to have one. I just want to go with the flow. I don't have any expectations. I don't know what it's going to be like. Hopefully we're headed to the playoffs, so I never know when my last game is going to be. But I'm trying not to have any preconceived notions on what may happen.
Yeah, you get a little melancholy, a little nostalgic here, given that his first one was 98, and here we are, it's 2014, and this is the last time that he's going to run on that field. You experienced that in your last All-Star game. Do you remember the emotions, or did you compartmentalize them?
I think, just like Derek, I think I did compartmentalize them. You don't want to set yourself up for some kind of epic failure. You don't want to say, I expect this to happen, and then it not happen, and it be like, oh, well, okay. Whatever. So I get what he's saying. It's about going out there and just enjoying the moment. I remember my first experience in Dodger Stadium with Buddy Bell. He told me to take the time to smell the grass.
Right.
In my last year, I took the time to really smell the grass. And I think that is what Jeet's talking about, the interview with you.
And I think he has taken time to kind of enjoy this ride and appreciate everything. And this is obviously a guy, a master of handling situations and handling expectations, but I think he's stepping back at times and enjoying it.
Ripken, of course, in Seattle, homered.
Yeah.
Jeter's not likely, especially in this ballpark, to do that. What's the sort of special Jeter way to kind of either come in or go out?
I think it's the way he's going to be introduced.
Yeah.
I think at some point he's going to be taken off the field.
Yep.
And hopefully he may be out there by himself. I think that the American League players have enough respect, admiration for Derek Jeter and what he has done to do something special for him. And that is where you don't set the expectation, because if something special doesn't happen, it's special in itself just being here at the All-Star game.
And the good folks of Minnesota and the Twin Cities will certainly give Justin Morneau, Brian Dozier, but reserve the loudest applause and ovation for Derek Jeter. But the Home Run Derby has no Derek Jeter. It does have this guy in it, Giancarlo Stanton. Early prediction, he actually hits one out of target field. Here's who the guys think is the most powerful hitter in the game.
Stanton.
Stanton. I think the obvious answer that everybody's going to say is Giancarlo Stanton. Unbelievable power.
Long homers.
He puts on quite a show.
I might say Miguel Cabrera. He brings it all to the table. The most powerful hitter doesn't necessarily have to be the one with all the power. It's the most power that he can disperse throughout his at-bat.
I guess you wonder where I've been. I searched to find the love within. I came back to let you know.
There's a new beauty in town. The 2014 Mitsubishi Outlander Sport. Lease an Outlander Sport now for $189 a month.
Great. This is the last thing I need. Seriously? The last thing you need is some guy giving you a new catalytic converter when all you got is a loose gas cap. Let's take this puppy over to Midas and get you some of that good old Midas touch. Dude, you know what? I'll drive. I really didn't think this through.
It's time to take a closer look at your tires. Get up to $160 back by mail on a set of 4 Goodyear, Cooper, and other select brands. Tires, brakes, oil, everything.
Mom, where's Glitter Pony Dance Off?
Here it comes.
We were running out of space, so I deleted it.
What?
Mom!
I'm gonna be sick.
What was I supposed to do? Hold on to it till the end of time?
Yes.
Okay, guys, get the hopper from Dish and record up to 2,000 hours of shows. Then you can avoid these pony problems.
Dish.
Thank you, Dish.
Okay.
Where's Glitter Pony Dance Off?
You did this.
Well played, Dad. Well played.
2,000 hours of shows, 0 tantrums. Hopper hooks you up.
What a year in sports.
There goes Davis. Oh my God! Davis gonna win the football game. The Spurs are the NBA champions.
It's another perfect ending for UConn. Dan Ortiz! Dan Ortiz!
For the final time here in the Bronx.
It happened. Now it happens again at the ESPYs.
Live from LA with your host, Drake. Wednesday at 9 on ESPN.
Recently, I sat myself down to talk things over. Sort of a reality check. And I decided I was paying too much for car insurance. So I went online for a fast, anonymous quote from the General. I got the insurance I needed, lowered my monthly payments, and picked my payment due date. I should talk to myself more often.
Get an anonymous free quote for affordable car insurance with low payments and great discounts from the General. For a great low rate you can get online, go to the General and save some time.
For a cold sore, I don't use some waxy cover-up. I use Herpecin. Herpecin L penetrates deep to treat, soothes and moisturizes, and creates an SPF 30 barrier to protect against damage from the sun. Herpecin L. It does more for a cold sore.
Are you being audited and do you owe the IRS $10,000 or more in back taxes? If you owe $10,000 or more in back taxes, do not call the IRS alone. Call a tax doctor now.
6:30 here in Minnesota, 7:30 on the East Coast, as we're about 30 minutes away from the Home Run Derby, which is coming up next. The MLB Network has the red carpet show at 3 Eastern time tomorrow, then the game, and coverage starts at 7:30 Eastern time. And the Derby and the All-Star Game are also available on ESPN Radio. Saw John Shambi earlier. He is all excited about calling the Home Run Derby tonight on ESPN Radio. 10 years ago, it was Miguel Tejada getting a little rubbed on from David Ortiz. and he was a winner. Got a couple of A's in it tonight, Cespedes and Donaldson. The Home Run Derby has come a long way in 29 years, and here is Bill Mack.
Back, 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 gone!
In the 29-year history of the Home Run Derby, a history marked by sweet-swinging Ken Griffey Jr.'s bolts into the blue in the 1990s.
Oh, it's tattooed! Back, 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 gone!
By David Ortiz's Rockets, launched in Anaheim in 2010.
This is in the ozone! The Ortiz.
By Mark McGwire's colossal moonshots above Boston in 1999.
Onto the Massachusetts Turnpike!
None quite compares to the surpassing show put on by Josh Hamilton in 2008.
Goodness gracious! 28 homers!
In the perfect venue for making Derby history, in the last year of old Yankee Stadium, the house that Ruth had built so long ago, the 6'4" comeback kid turned the event into his own showcase. The Derby came of age in the 90s, growing as the players got bigger and the home runs longer. In 96, Barry Bonds smote 3 straight home runs on his last 3 pitches to edge McGwire 17-15, and 4 years later, Sammy Sosa crushed a then record 26 home runs to win it.
Oh, back, way back in the upper deck!
Sosa's victory in 2000 marked the first year that players performed more as individuals than as members of a league, in an elimination tournament with 2 rounds and a final. And the Derby has since thrown up a rich variety of winners, from the Angels' Garrett Anderson to Robinson Cano of the Yankees to the Phillies' Bobby Abreu, whose 41 homers in 2005 are still the Derby record. Paul Bunyan's all with wooden bats.
And given some of the history and some of those names, you do have to feel a little bit better, at least I do, about the cleanliness of the Home Run Derby now and what we're going to see tonight. 14 of the last 18 lefties, 4 straight, 6 of the last 7 from the American League. Bobby Abreu in 2005 at Comerica at the most in a single Derby, 41. Ryan Sandberg was the last to win it in his home park, and that was 1990. And of course, Brian Dozier's got a chance to do that here. Justin Morneau comes back to Minnesota. You agree with me about sort of the cleanliness of the thing versus some of the things we just witnessed again?
Well, the game is definitely in a different spot, so absolutely, much cleaner game.
Absolutely.
Let's go over some of the guys that are going to be in here. We got 10 of them, and as we mentioned, the goal really for all of them, including what Jose Bautista said earlier, hit as many as you can and try to rest in the second round. Troy Tulowitzki hits it almost 398 feet on average.
Well, I think anytime you look at a captain, I think he's going to go out there and kind of feel the pressure of trying to make sure that he leads his team. Troy Tulowitzki is definitely a home run hitter. He generates a lot of power. You can see where he likes the ball. It's just about everywhere. I'm going to say he's going to cut the plate in half and look for something on the inner half. And you can see pretty much up, down on the balls on the inside part of the plate. He likes to turn on them. That'll work well in
best shape of his life, Barry and Aaron. He sleeps in a hyperbaric chamber every now and then. Justin Morneau's average home run distance, 402 feet, and he's got more home runs here than anybody except Jim Thome this ballpark.
Yeah, and a guy that's won an MVP award for the Minnesota Twins, the opportunity to kind of come back and say hello, even goodbye to these fans, and an opportunity. Only left-handed hitter, a difficult ballpark to hit balls out of, but as you can see, a guy that likes to get that ball out over the plate, anywhere in the middle of the plate, up and down. He's got good plate coverage, and then if you come in with it, especially these guys not throwing gas, he's got a chance to get that head out and do some damage.
Traded 11 months ago from Minnesota. Meantime, the hero of the Little League World Series in 1998 now finds himself in a home run derby. That's Toms River, New Jersey guy, Todd Frazier. Here's Buster Olney with him.
Todd Frazier, for the choosing the person who's going to throw to you, you decided to have your older brother Charlie do it. How come?
Yeah, he throws me in the offseason. First and foremost, you know, a little family affair. Get him out here and have him enjoy the time here. He played in the minor leagues with the Marlins and unfortunately never made it to the big leagues, but at the same time, you know, we can make this his big league moment. And he throws good batting practice, so hopefully that'll help.
How excited are you to be part of this event?
Oh, this is awesome. This is probably the most exciting thing besides winning the Little League World Series in my baseball career. And, you know, dreams just happen, they come true, and it's, I haven't stopped smiling since yesterday.
What's your strategy?
For me, it's, you know, during BP during the year, I try to go to right field and hit home runs all the time, and now I got to change it up. So I'm going to try and hook everything, you know, get a little air underneath it, and hopefully that breeze still stays that way. We'll see what happens.
Have fun, Todd.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
One thing we know he will do is have fun. And by the way, he's got 7 home runs to center field, all of which would have been out at target field. So he can hit it far.
Well, when he gets in the groove, and I think you talk about rhythm hitters, that's exactly what Todd Frazier is. When he hits home runs, he hits them in bunches. You can see what he's trying to do is get the ball in the inner half. So many of these hitters, what they'll do, cut that plate in half, look for the ball up, look for it in, try to get that elevation. But all eyes are going to be on this guy, Giancarlo Stanton. You sit next to him and you recognize you couldn't drive a nail through him. He is an absolute rock.
No, I think the difference between him and the next most powerful hitter in Major League Baseball today is considerable. And as you can see by his heat map, a guy that loves to get his arms extended, and he plays in as big a ballpark as anyone in Marlins Park. It doesn't matter with his power.
Longest home run this year, 484 feet. We should see some travel over 500 tonight. Yasiel Puig, who earlier in the program we saw hit one to the upper deck here. He feels like a guy who loves the spotlight, and he is in it tonight.
Well, I see this guy in the advanced round. I think Yasiel Puig just gets it. He loves the bright lights. You can see the yellow armband, and here's his heat zone. Exactly BP. I've seen this guy take batting practice during the regular season. I'm assuming he's going to be a little more amped during this home run derby, but he puts on a display. You know, when we were playing, we used to go out and watch guys take batting practice from the opposing team. Yeah. Yasiel Puig is one of those guys you would go out and watch.
No doubt about it. Now, Jose Bautista is a home run threat every time he comes up. He hits balls over 400 feet. He's got a 450-foot shot this year.
Yeah, and he might be my favorite guy in this competition to see hit home runs, because he's kind of got like a beer league softball swing to him. How he just kicks that leg up, and as you can see by his heat map, up and out over the plate, he dominates. But if you drop that thing low and in, he is capable of dropping that head, and he shrinks up the Rogers Center routinely.
54 homers in 2010, 43 in 2011. Brian Dozier's like the opposite of the guys we've been talking about. But he knows you hook one here, you can hit a home run, and he's going to try to do that.
Well, he has the advantage of knowing the ballpark, knowing exactly where the ball has to be put in order to hit it out. Brian Dozier in batting practice, he's worked on this, and you can see he likes the ball up. So he's looking for that ball up and in, trying to get that distance, the elevation. We call it lift and separate.
And there's something to be said for being in your own ballpark, your own background.
The other thing that can be said about Dozier, his brother Clay will pitch to him, and he had a couple of home runs yesterday at Coors, so he's in a home run groove. Then there's Josh Donaldson. He's got power to all fields, 11 to left, 7 to right, right center. There is no yard that can hold him. Here's Pedro Gomez with Josh.
Josh, your first home run derby. Now, I was talking to Yoenis Cespedes, who said your philosophy is to hit the ball out of the park here. Why?
Because if I miss it, it'll still get over. I'm hoping. I don't know. I mean, that's just my goal. Just kind of, we'll see what happens. Wind's a little bit blowing in, but hey, I'm up for the challenge tonight, and I'm gonna swing as hard as I can. Hopefully, it happens.
How excited are you to participate in this derby?
I don't know if words can really. It's kind of one of those things where, as a kid, you practice in your backyard for stuff like this, and you know you have all kind of sorts of games. I grew up watching the game, watching home run derbies, and you know it's going to be one of those times where I really just try to enjoy it and soak up this opportunity.
All right, Josh, the first place Oakland A's.
That's right.
Thanks very much. Guys, back to you.
Pedro, he's trying to join Cespedes, and McGuire is the only A's to win the Derby. Tejada was not an A when he won it.
Now, let's get this right. What he did say is not he's trying to hit it out of the field. He said out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
In case he misses, it'll still get over the home run wall.
Yeah,
now,
I think that's safe.
I don't think I've ever heard that before. He's trying to hit it out of the ballpark.
And it's going to be interesting. We might see a guy actually leave the ballpark. We saw Puig just ho-hum, hit one to the top.
I think it happens.
I think it happens.
It did happen at Fenway a million times back in '99. They all left the ballpark. Cespedes is just kind of going through. It's like he's hitting pitching wedges before he gets to the driver. And he's got the Griffey Jr. hat on backwards look.
And are we talking about him enough? The reigning champion?
He's in a bit of a home run drought, by the way. It's been a long time since Yoenis Cespedes has homered.
He was in a home run drought also last year at this time. Also, this guy, he's the reigning home run derby champion. And that says something. I think his experience and what he was able to do last year gives him a lot of confidence going into this.
Has not hit a home run in his last 84 at-bats. I talk about guys who are enthusiastic and want to be part of the home run derby. This guy, Adam Jones of the Baltimore Orioles, he does everything right. He says the right things.
Yeah, and a bona fide superstar and one of the faces, obviously, of the Baltimore Orioles. He's a guy that got off to a slow start, but after April, this guy has been as hot as anyone in Major League Baseball, and he's got his power stroke going, and a guy that can hit the ball out to all fields. But a low ball hitter likes the ball down in the strike zone. Be important for that BP pitcher to get in sync with Adam Jones. Keep it down. His buddy's got to keep it down in the zone. Let him get those big arms extended.
The average apex of a Jones home run is like 78 feet. And we're talking about Stanton or others trying to hit one over the whole thing. Is it Stanton's world and anyone else, or is it...
I see Cespedes winning it once again, doing like Ken Griffey Jr. did in 98, 99.
No. Giancarlo Stanton. This is a big ballpark to everyone except Giancarlo Stanton. He takes home the hardware tonight over Batista in the finals.
I think he hits one over the wall, but I think Puig wins the whole thing over Batista as well. As you see the guys chatting before the home run derby, we want to remind everybody to celebrate Sunday all season long. Special ticket offers. Head to the ballpark with your friends and family. Go to MLB.com/Sunday. And for the first time ever, as you will see, they're wearing their batting practice hats, but teams will be wearing a cap specially designed for the All-Star game. Diamond era caps, 2- and 3-tone with a triangle section on the front. A nod toward the helmets worn in the 60s and 70s by the Twins, the host of this year's game. You can check out all the All-Star Game merchandise at MLB.com.
Rule 66. Baseball is a game best played like a kid. Sunday Night Baseball, Dodgers Cardinals at 8. Baseball rules on ESPN.
At what point in a friendly competition does the mercy rule come into effect? Introducing Fusion Pro Glide, rebuilt with FlexBall technology, makes maximum contact over tricky contours and gets virtually every hair. New FlexBall for the Fusion Pro Glide. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Can't stand the heat, get off the test track. Get the Mercedes-Benz you've been burning for at the summer event going on now at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer. But hurry, offers end July 31st. Share your summer moments in your Mercedes-Benz with us.
Ciao amore.
Me ne vado!
Di nuovo.
Sì, di nuovo. Vado a cercare qualcuno in grado di amare qualcun altro oltre se stesso.
E vai da tua madre! È l'unica pazza che ti sopporta.
È finita!
Era ora!
Addio!
Finalmente!
Scusami.
Amore mio.
Perché non mi chiedi scusa?
Ma perché devo chiederti scusa?
No, adesso te la urli!
Haagen-Dazs Gelato, inspired by Italy and made like no other.
It's an honor to stand here in front of you. It's been a dream of mine to play this wonderful game since I was 4 years old. To sit here and share a clubhouse, dugout, a field with this many guys that are the elite of the elite. You know, you're going through your first experiences here at the All-Star game. You're still walking around with your mouth open. Look, you guys belong here. Doesn't matter whether you're 19 or you're 40. We are all equals here. And I just want to impress upon you guys to soak up each and every opportunity that you have. So you never know when that opportunity is going to come and go.
Target Field is the third Major League ballpark for the Minnesota franchise in this city. It cost over $500 million to build, holds just over 40,000, and is considered a pitcher's ballpark. Sports Science explains why.
Minnesota's Target Field was built on just 8.7 acres of land in downtown Minneapolis, the smallest land plot in the majors. This is one reason why on the field itself, the average distance from home plate to the fence is 4 feet shorter than the MLB average. This may not sound like much, but generally speaking, for every 1.5 feet closer in outfield fences, a home run becomes about 5% more likely. But despite these favorable fences, since it opened in 2010, Target Field has allowed the 4th fewest home runs in the American League. This lack of home run production is in part because of a factor that's relatively new to the Twins' home field: weather. Unlike the fixed climate in the old Metrodome, the weather at Target Field is particularly unfavorable to left-handed hitters in July. During the spring and fall, wind typically blows from the northwest or out toward right field. But around the middle of June, the prevailing wind shifts for the summer months and blows in from right. And in right field, wind can blow directly in through Target Plaza, which presents about a 120-foot opening into the ballpark. The average wind speed in July is 10 miles per hour, but Target Plaza funnels wind into the stadium around large structures, which creates turbulence. This can result in tiny cyclones that increase the wind speed by as much as 3 times. For a long fly ball hit down the right field line, this rotating wind can push it toward the long right field power alley or greatly reduce the distance of its flight. All else being equal, a 15-mile-per-hour headwind would decrease a fly ball's distance by about 45 feet. This means to compensate or make up for this loss in distance, a batter must increase his swing speed by more than 10%.
For ESPN Sports Science, I'm John Brinkus.
All right, John, thank you very much. And you take a look at the home runs by direction and why there is only one left-handed hitter, Justin Morneau, who has more home runs here at Target Field as a player than anybody, with the exception of Jim Thome. 231 down the line in left, which is why Brian Dozier was asked during the Home Run Derby press conference what the secret to success is, and he said, dead pull down the left field line. 231 balls have left the building down the line. And this guy can certainly do that. Yoenis Cespedes, 2013 Citi Field. The A's power hitter put on a display. 9 in the final round. He beat Bryce Harper, hit a total of 32, and left many in awe. He hit 17 in the first round.
This is Macaroni Grill's head chef. This is his sister in Italy. She's a rival chef who dared him to take chicken parmesan and make it a meatball. New rustic kitchen meatballs. Classic Italian flavors rolled into meatballs and served over imported Italian spaghetti.
Bartenders say it's best in the house. Judges say it's best in the world. We simply say it's best in a glass. Avión. Voted world's best tasting tequila.
Hey, Sut, what do you think about the season so far?
Better watch yourself, Ravi. I told you so.
Who is that?
Some new guy with a funny uniform.
Whoa. He is barreling you up, huh?
Dwayne Johnson is Hercules, in theaters July 25th.
Think I ought to come with some chin music?
No, I wouldn't do that. No.
He paid for you.
It's a German luxury sedan, but it's still an Audi.
The Audi A4, performance with the right attitude. Get exceptional offers on the Audi A4 during the Summer of Audi event. Visit AudiOffers.com today.
Create a better website at squarespace.com. Start your free trial today.
The Open Championship returns to Royal Liverpool, and Tiger is back. Will Phil raise the claret jug once again, or will Tiger hunt down another victory at Hoylake? The Open Championship begins Thursday at 4 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
So this board gives me rates on Progressive Direct and other car insurance companies?
Yes.
But you're Progressive, and they're them.
Yes.
But they're here.
Yes.
Are you?
There?
Yes.
No.
Are you them?
I'm me.
But the lowest rate is from them.
Yes.
So them's best rate is?
Here.
So where are them?
Aren't them here?
I already asked you that.
When?
Feels like a while ago.
You want to take it from the top?
Rates for us and them. Now that's Progressive. Call or click today.
You know, millions of people have saved with Progressive, so I get invited to quite a few family gatherings. Heck, I saved Judith here a fortune with discounts like Safe Driver, Multi-Car, Paperless. You make a mighty fine Mrs. M'Lady. I'm not saying Mark's thrifty. Let's just say I saved him $519, and it certainly didn't go toward that ring. Am I right? So visit Progressive.com today. I call this one the Robot.
Little less than 10 minutes till the 2014 Home Run Derby. Go back to 2010 when Big Papi put on a show at Angel Stadium. He beat Hanley Ramirez, much to the delight of the Little Poppies and all the other folks that were there. 11 home runs in the final round, 32 for the Home Run Derby, and he raised the trophy. Not as long as some of these shots. Barry and Aaron, 2008 Yankee Stadium Hamilton show included this bomb.
Well, you talk about getting into a rhythm. He got extension and elevation quite often.
And arguably the most memorable home run derby ever was Josh Hamilton's rounds.
No doubt. That's an individual. 99 was great for McGuire and Sosa. This is 98. He went 5'10".
Yeah, getting in the thin air, though. Anyone can go over 500.
Oh, okay.
My.
Big Mac land in St. Louis.
Ooh.
Thick.
Oh, Big Mac land out the front door right there.
How about the show that Bobby Abreu put on?
Once again, you talk about a rhythm, and Bobby Abreu is that a rhythm hitter.
Yes. 2005 Comerica, he went off. Back to 2008, we've seen a 504-foot shot from Hamilton. This one will go 518 feet.
So much is to be said about that BP pitcher, where he throws the ball. Josh Hamilton knew exactly where he wanted it. Good Lord, that's called loading up.
And this is when a lot of people remember Sammy Sosa traveled 524 feet.
Well, I remember Sammy Sosa hitting them way out at Turner Field, but this one, the furthest in history. Wow.
How about the guys going, gone as we prepare for this year?
Troy drives it high in deep center field. Look it up. See you later. 3-run jack.
That baby's gone. Cespedes with a blast.
Frazier goes long ball. Upper deck.
Swinging a high fly ball center field. He got a lot of this one. And that ball is gone. Have a night, Adam Jones. It's gone. Justin Morneau, a 2-run walk-off home run.
The home run for Brian Dozier, a no-doubter.
And that's hit a ton. Way out of here to right center. My goodness, Donaldson.
Swing and a drive. Get up, get up, get out of here. Home run, Bautista.
Way back.
It burned on re-entry. Yasiel Puig. Oh, did he hit?
Stanton drives it. Left field and deep. Get out of here. Giancarlo, a rocket.
How cool is it that new DiGiorno designed a pizza kit lets us create our own pizza?
And use delicious DiGiorno toppings like pepperoni, sausage, and peppers.
And we made it look just like Billy?
I don't see it.
New DiGiorno Designer Pizza Kit lets you create the pizza you want. Thankfully, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
Summer is loaded with little adventures. So make the most of every sun-filled summer day with a refreshing Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. It's crisp beer with the natural flavor of lemonade that says, come on by, without having to say a single word. Our family's been brewing beers in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin for 6 generations. And this one says summer. So grab a summer shandy and join us out here.
Let's try on a new coat, one that covers better, lasts longer, and protects us from the elements, inside and out. Let's go to the place with the best paint, take it home for less, then rock and roll. Let's do the one thing that changes everything. Let's do this. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot. Bare Premium Plus Ultra Interior starts at $31.98 a gallon.
Super Tuesday at Joseph A. Bank. Almost everything in the store is buy one, get 2 free. And Traveler dress shirts and sport shirts are 3 for $99. Suits, sport coats, dress shirts, ties, pants, sport shirts, polos, shorts, and more. Buy one, get 2 free at Joseph A. Bank.
Every villain knows that a getaway car requires abundant power, impeccable style, and, of course, the cover of darkness. But what if it's a different kind of getaway you're after? The F-Type convertible and the F-Type coupe from Jaguar. Oh, it's good to be bad.
For great offers, visit your local Jaguar retailer today.
Hey, I noticed your car's not in the driveway.
Yeah, it's in the shop. It's gonna cost me an arm and a leg.
That's hilarious.
Sorry.
Should have taken it to Midas. Get some of that Midas touch. They'll tell you what stuff needs fixing and what stuff can wait.
All right. Next time, going to Midas.
High five. Did not see that coming.
It's time to take a closer look at your tires. Get up to $160 back by mail on a set of 4 Goodyear, Cooper, and other select brands. Tires, brakes, oil, everything.
Let's do this.
What are you guys doing now?
Fighting to the death.
That's completely normal behavior. Why?
Mom and Dad are recording shows tonight, which means we can only record one more. The winner.
Okay, weirdos. Tell your mum to get the hopper from Dish. Then you can record 8 shows at once and no one has to die.
No way.
Yeah, true. Record all your shows with Dish. Proceed! Record 8 shows at once, everyone wins. Hopper hooks you up.
Couple of minutes before the top of the hour and the Gillette Home Run Derby 2014. And then once this ends, this day off Wednesday, we get right back at it. Sunday night, St. Louis. Already what feels like a potential playoff preview. It's the Dodgers and the Cardinals. And St. Louis has been dealing with 3 teams in that National League Central, making life tougher for them. The Brewers, the Reds, and the Pirates. They get Puig and the Dodgers to start the second half of the season.
Born 81 years ago, the All-Star Game is so old that most of the ball yards where it was played no longer exist. Yet since that day in '33, when the Bambino won it with a single blast in Old Comiskey Park, the game itself has grown into one of America's favorite summer rituals, among its oldest and most colorful traditions. That time of year when the bell tolls noon on the national clock and the 2 leagues pause to battle for home advantage in the World Series. Baseball's greatest stars gather on one field to toe the rubber and swing for the seats.
That's Bill Nack talking about the All-Star Game, which is tomorrow night. But in a couple of seconds here, we're going to have the Home Run Derby here. How about the evolution of this entire night? What the Home Run Derby's become from what it once was almost 30 years ago in the Metrodome.
Well, I tell you, the game of baseball has done a really nice job. Bud Selig, this is his last year. He's done a real nice job of really kind of culminating everything. The game is much more efficient. The game is cleaner. The game is better. The All-Star Game is a great culmination in the midseason of everything that's happened the first half.
It really is. And I got in here Saturday, and now when you get in, you can feel it in the city. You can, all the build-up to not just the game anymore, but the home run derby, all the festivities that go with it. Then the focus turns to the game, but the excitement that just surrounds the city and the buzz that in the city is very much real.
It is real. There'll be 40,000 in here tonight. 6 million will watch on television, and we'll be here after to talk about what we saw. Will we see a ball leave 500 feet? Will Stanton carry this thing? Will it be an American leaguer? We'll find out in mere seconds. With Aaron Boone and Barry Larkin, I'm Carl Ravitch. Enjoy the Derby.
Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away.
There's still a genuine sense of wonder over the long ball. You get to see the greatest players in the game watching the home run derby, putting their hands on their head. Whoa! I go back almost 30 years and seeing it, and I love seeing it now.
Once I get you up there, where
The first one I ever saw was 1986. Darryl Strawberry hit the speaker. Junior Griffey in Baltimore.
That may have hit the warehouse, and they announce it did.
The show Josh Hamilton put on was beyond belief because it was Yankee Stadium, and the homers seemingly kept getting farther and farther.
Oh, it's tattooed! Gone again!
Of course, Robbie Canona's dad. It's a father and a son playing baseball.
This is a show and a half! Good! Let's fly away. I love you, Dad.
Everybody gets to be a kid again on Derby night. That's why we love it.
Welcome, everybody, to the 2014 Gillette Home Run Derby from Target Field in Minneapolis. The anticipation is thick, so is the weather. About a half an hour rain delay, although it looks pretty good right now. But they've stopped batting practice, then they've started it, then they've stopped it, then they've started it. So if it's 8 o'clock in the east and 7 o'clock local and 5 out west, we anticipate at the bottom of the hour getting started. We hope that the weather will cooperate, because this is the first one of these that we've had in a long time that I can remember. We've only done about 25 of them. That weather has been an issue. Hi, I'm Chris Berman, along with John Kruk. Thanks for bringing the rain with you from Baltimore. It's a really good job.
Yeah, I'm getting used to this.
Wearing
waders next game.
We have a change this year in format, which I'm not going to bore everybody with, but basically what it means is we've got 10 batters, including Cespedes, who's the defending champ from last year with the show he put on. What it guarantees is an American League champ, if you will, will hit against a National League champ, if you will. So if the All-Star game counts, why shouldn't this count?
Yeah, and I like the changes they made. Only 7 outs in the first round, which is it might speed this thing up a little bit, but it's also going to make the players more conscious of, you know, we don't have 10 to play with now. It's only 7. We have to get them early and try to get them often. And watching these guys taking batting practice, Chris, they're going to get them often.
Well, 9 of the 10 are righties. The only lefty is a wonderful story, and we're going to put up the field right now. And so the 2 captains were Jose Batista of the American League, who's been in this a couple of times and has been a finalist, and Troy Tulowitzki, who certainly can bomb them out. We know at all altitudes. It doesn't have to be Colorado. So here is your field, and we'll get to the batting order, etc. But one name that we should mention, the only lefty in the field, he's not an all-star, though he could have been, and it'll be a warm, to say the least, welcome home for Justin Morneau, who does know the way the breezes go here. Do you have a thought at who might there? And there is Morneau, who is just so happy to be home, and he will get a hero's welcome.
Oh, he should, you know, for all the great things he did for the Minnesota Twins while he was here, getting traded last year to the Pirates. But yeah, he's going to be well loved, and the only lefty in this thing, which is very rare because lefties seem to dominate the home run derby. Although last year you mentioned Cespedes won it for the Oakland A's, but yeah, Morneau's going to get a great welcome. He's getting older. He is a former champion though, and he knows how to participate in a derby.
So look, we got a delay. We got plenty of baseball to talk about. It is the Midsummer Classic. We just got to wait a little while. A couple of Cuban players in the lineup, and many represented right there having a conversation We'll try to translate it when we come back to Minneapolis.
At what point in a friendly competition does the mercy rule come into effect? Introducing Fusion Pro Glide, rebuilt with FlexBall technology, makes maximum contact over tricky contours and gets virtually every hair. New FlexBall for the Fusion Pro Glide. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Don't hesitate, I can't wait. Love me.
Two things you only dreamed would come together. A delicious cheesy quesadilla wrapped around a beefy burrito. The new quesarito from Taco Bell.
Hey, throw me a Pepsi.
The cooler!
Introducing new wild cherry and vanilla Pepsi made with real sugar.
Gotcha! Who wants a drink?
A real big summer starts with new flavors of Pepsi made with real sugar. Grab some before it gets away.
Get the Pepsi!
This Friday.
This is a big one. That fire is about 4 hours from the lodge.
There's no need to panic. The plagues are teaming up to save the world.
That's hot. Like Mama's jalapeno chili. Spicy.
Twice! Disney's Planes Fire and Rescue in 3D Friday. Rated PG.
Wandering out into this great unknown. And when it's done, believe that I will yell it from that mountain high.
Find summer, the Chevy Summer Drive. Get 0% financing for 72 months plus a total value of $4,000 on this 2014 Silverado All-Star Edition and no monthly payments until the end of summer. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Now that Mariano Rivera's retired, the guys from Metallica don't have that much to do around here.
Coach K's not interested in an entrance song either.
Who's left?
John Daly?
You guys know this is for golf, right? Yeah. Might take a while, but I'm sure those guys will find something to do.
First lesson's free.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Gillette Home Run Derby here at Target Field in Minneapolis. We have a weather delay expected to go at the bottom of the hour, but you just saw some of the exploits. And boy, has he opened up everyone's eyes. Yasiel Puig, who's been, came up, June a year ago, and both at the plate and in the field, he is just must-see, as he will be in the Home Run Derby tonight. He's with Pedro Gomez. Good evening, Pedro.
Chris, thank you very much. Yasiel, ¿cómo te sientes estar en el Juego de Estrella y participando en el Home Run Derby este año? How do you feel participating in the Home Run Derby and being in the All-Star Game this year?
Me siento muy contento y estoy dándole las gracias.
As Carlos Gomez wipes his mouth.
A todos los que tuvieron que ver con... Ay. Apunta para ahí. ¿Eh? ¿Tiene perfume?
Dime. Hoy estamos en vivo.
No, me siento muy contento de estar aquí en el All-Star Game y le doy las gracias a Tulo Whisky por haberme invitado a Home Run Derby y a todos los fanáticos y a todos los restos del mundo que votaron por mí por estar aquí.
I'm very, very happy to be here. I'm very thankful to Troy Tulowitzki for picking me and all the fans who voted for me to be here at the All-Star Game. The Dodgers have been playing some great baseball for the last month. What has been the difference? Los Dodgers están jugando tremendo béisbol el último mes. ¿Qué ha sido la diferencia?
Bueno, nosotros, igual que el año pasado, tuvimos un mal comienzo de temporada, pero después nos fuimos acoplando ya que los muchachos siguen entrenando muy fuerte y los coaches ayudándonos lo más que ellos pueden, y así es el resultado que tenemos. También estar en la primera plaza ahora, hay que darle las gracias a los fanáticos que nos apoyan todos los días, aunque estemos perdiendo en el noveno inning, ellos siempre se quedan ahí apoyándonos, y gracias a ellos es que estamos en la primera plaza, y ahora en la segunda ronda vamos a ser mejor, porque tenemos que seguir luchando contra un buen equipo que es San Francisco, que nos está dando mucha batalla, ya que son muy buenos los jugadores de ahí.
Much like last year, we went through a rough spell, but we've started to turn it on in the middle of the season. And we also want to thank all the fans in Los Angeles who have been staying until the end, he says, giving us support until the very end of the game. They've had a big role to do with it, and we're going to need it, because in the second half, we've got the Giants, and the Giants are a very, very good club with very good players, and it should be a very good second half. Yaciel, muchas gracias por todo. Suerte hoy en el Home Run Derby. Chris, vamos a regresar a ti. Chris, back to you.
Pedro, that's awesome. That's awesome. You know, it was interesting to see, and of course, we can't wait to see him, and along with Stanton from the Marlins, which will be interesting to see the two of them. But Cespedes from Oakland, it's interesting, the ribbing between the two Cuban players who were in the lineup here tonight. Cespedes, the defending champ, said, and I'm paraphrasing here, Crucky, well, I don't think the Home Run Derby is really his kind of competition. And Puig says, oh, really? Well, that's his opinion. We'll see.
Yeah.
And so there's a little gamesmanship going on between those two, in addition to the other 8 in the field.
Yeah, I think if there's one player in this whole thing that's going to revel in this atmosphere, it's Yasiel Puig. We know he's a showman. He's in the perfect place to play in Los Angeles if you want to put on a show. He loves entertaining fans. I think he's going to do great in this thing, but I don't think he's going to win it.
Okay, well, too early to make a pick. We're not to the bottom of the hour.
Not yet.
Okay,
Not yet.
But Puig is going to certainly warm it. Listen, we've had Spanish already on the broadcast. We should tell everybody who is celebrating the Joyeux Fête de Bastille. It is Bastille Day, so a little French in addition to the Spanish. Now, Buster Olney, I don't know what language you're talking about, except you are talking with the starting pitcher.
That's right, Adam Wainwright. It was announced earlier today you're starting for the National League. What did Mike Matheny tell you?
He told me yesterday morning, we were in Milwaukee right when I got to the field. Had my breakfast plate in my hand. He called me in the office and told me it was a great morning gift.
What was your feeling when he told you?
Just an overwhelming sense of pride and achievement, really. I mean, it's something I've always wanted to do, something I've always been kind of jealous of other people that got to do that. I remember watching Pedro and his great start, striking out all 6 guys, and watching Smoltz in '96 start the game. I can remember, you know, a lot of these pitchers that started the game, so to be on that list is pretty special.
Adam, what do you think's gone so well for you in the first half?
Well, just trying to simplify things, not get caught up in too much about a guy who's had good numbers on me in the past, or teams that are hot or whatnot. I'm just focusing on executing pitches, and that seems to be the best way to do it.
The event tonight, of course, the Home Run Derby. Who's your pick?
I've never seen him on a repetitive standpoint as far as home runs go, but I can't wait to see how far Giancarlo Stanton hits the ball. He hits some light tower power shots.
Adam, thanks. Chris, back to you.
Well, and a big responsibility, of course, for any starting pitcher.
Yeah, and he's the perfect guy for it. Look, how could you go wrong with he or Kershaw? But Adam Wainwright right now has had the better year than Kershaw has. Kershaw, of course, was hurt, but Adam Wainwright deserves his #1 start.
Well, plenty to talk about here as we expect to start the Gillette Home Run Derby at the bottom of the hour. A little rain delay. What is it, the one time we want the Homer Dome instead of Target Field? We'll be ready to roll shortly.
Okay, and just click on the one you want.
But Jimmy, all of these travel sites seem the same.
I always use Hotels.com. With their loyalty program, I get a free night for every 10 nights I collect. So they're not the same, because they're different.
Jimmy, look, this one has a king-size bed.
If you're traveling with your grandmother, I suggest getting twin beds.
Oh, Captain Obvious. Jimmy is not my grandson.
Now.
Are you, Jimmy?
Here comes President Roosevelt.
I hope so.
I regret coming here. Hotels.com. For lovers.
Red, white, and blue pancakes are under $5.
That's about as American as it gets.
What do you mean?
Blueberry pancakes, strawberries, and cream cheese icing starting at just $4.99. Apple pie, watch out.
Welcome to Denny's.
I'm just getting started. Dwayne Johnson is Hercules. Rated PG-13.
Welcome to the new Cricket Wireless. Did you know that over 97% of Americans are covered by our network? Cricket, something to smile about.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth here.
This is Lady. She's a unicorn and a Pegasus. And why is she strapped to the roof of my RAV4? Well, if you have kids, then you know why. Now the real question, where's this going in the house? The RAV4. Toyota, let's go places.
Firestone Transforce tires. Built to handle whatever the job demands. Durable, dependable Firestone tires. Whatever you drive, drive a Firestone.
Well, you can tell everybody. Yeah, you can tell everybody. Go ahead and tell everybody. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
Extraordinary moments happen every night in baseball. But on one night, they all happen in one place. And this year, all eyes will be on Minneapolis, where baseball's brightest stars will compete for home field advantage in the World Series. The 85th MLB All-Star Game, July 15th.
Wow. Back, 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 back. Gone! What a show by Cespedes. 12 of his 17 homers over 400 feet. Oh, and he wins it with a plum. Yoenis Cespedes has won the Home Run Derby.
Yoenis Cespedes, Oakland A's, winning in Citi Field in New York last year. We're under rain delay. We expect to get started in about 15 minutes, but you can see from right to left, if you will. Cespedes last year, Prince Fielder Tigers in Kansas City, Robbie Cano Yankees in Arizona, Big Papi won in Anaheim, and Prince Fielder Brewer won in St. Louis. And Justin Morneau, who of course was a Minnesota Twin, that was the Josh Hamilton one that everybody remembers at Yankee Stadium. But Morneau was the winner that year in '08. Now he comes back to Minnesota as a Colorado Rocky. A guy that many feel could be the champ for 2014, Giancarlo Stanton. Buster Olney is with the big guy.
Seems like I've talked about 20 players and asked them, who do you think is going to win? And they always bring up your name. How do you feel about your chances?
I feel good, man. I mean, we're all on the same playing field. The conditions are a little interesting for this event tonight, but you know, the key is to have fun and to win at the same time.
Mike Redmond, your manager, who pitches batting practice to you every day, told me that you like to work the middle of the field, but you mentioned the conditions. When you took batting practice before, what did you learn?
That it was swirling out there, and, you know, if it continues to rain like this, you might have to alter yourself a little bit. So just stay on the corners. It's a deep gap out there in center field, so we'll see how it goes.
This is something you've wanted to do for a long time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. In 2012, I was a day away, and I ended up having last-minute surgery. So I'm glad to be here and finally get my chance.
Is there a hitter you're looking forward to watching tonight?
Trout, I don't get to see him too often, and this will be my last time to see Jeter on a baseball field, so him as well.
What's the biggest challenge you think in doing this?
I mean, staying in it. You know, you got everything else going around, and it's still a competition. So you want to have as much fun as you can, and at the same time, you want to have that drive and determination to win. So you got to find the happy medium.
Giancarlo, thanks. Good luck. Chris, back to you.
All right, Buster, thank you very much. Well, ominous skies now, and so we're still hoping to start at the bottom of the hour. You know, Buster mentioned, and Mike Rebin, his manager, Crocky, is going to pitch to him, which is a real classy move on both sides. You know, a manager needs a few days off, but it shows you the respect that both men have for each other. Rebin, of course, spending, what, five years, I believe, catching here with the Minnesota Twins, so it's a chance for him to come home. Stanton says there is no strategy, swing as hard as you can. Is that what you expect?
Well, and that's what I think everyone's looking forward to. Everyone we talked around the batting cages from both American and National League, that's who they want to see. They want to see him hit balls. They think he might be able to hit one out of this ballpark. I don't know if he can do that. I wouldn't doubt he could, but you have to remember he's 6'5", 250 pounds. He can run, he can throw, and he has great bat speed. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of balls leave the ballpark by accident from this man.
This is the first one that we've seen him in. He was scheduled to go a couple of years ago. Got injured right before the All-Star game. So, really, this is one where we're used to seeing the players, even though they're the best in the bigs, look like little kids when they watch the big sluggers step up. It's kind of fun to watch, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think the amazing thing is a lot of them are the pitchers. They get a kick out of watching balls leave the ballpark. Believe me, they don't want to give them up that far, but they get a big kick out of this. They love watching these guys.
Well, a lot of the fellas say, it's batting practice with just more eyes on you. It's not that easy. Neither is starting this thing here, the Gillette Home Run Derby. Rain delay, rain coming in and out. That's why we've assembled the best and the brightest, and that would include the intrepid Carl Ravitch. Carl, the best laid plans of mice and men, you know the finish.
I certainly do, and thank you very much, USS Intrepid. I mean, we can deal with weather like this, like a submarine, but we're under shelter, which certainly helps. Aaron Boone and Barry Larkin, and this is sort of the forecast for the next couple of hours, in and out rain, and it certainly could have an impact, but here you are at the Home Run Derby, and, you know, you're kind of on hold, like being on an airplane and saying, we're going to delay, but you're going to sit on the airplane. They're all waiting around. What's that like?
Well, it can be frustrating if you allow it to be. If you just see that it's just what it is, then you'll be fine. I think the more important thing is not the hitter, it's the pitcher. Because the pitcher has to throw you the ball and get you the ball where you want it. And you've talked about it. You've had that conversation. I like the ball down. I like the ball in. I like the ball up and elevated. It's that pitcher's job to throw that ball and not try to make you manipulate your swing. So more important for me during this rain delay, it's more important for that pitcher to have enough time to go out there and get ready.
But better that we haven't started anything yet as opposed to delay in the middle?
Yeah, I think definitely. And obviously there's some anxiety being built up by these guys. You've been looking forward to this time, this hour, so you're excited. Now all of a sudden it's hit the brakes. But the one thing I will say, the facilities now in Major League Baseball, obviously Target Field being one of those, these guys will have plenty of opportunity to go underneath if they want, hit in world-class cages, stay as warm or take it easy as much as they want. So as far as being ready, I don't think it's a big deal other than having to rein back a little nervous energy right now.
Emphasis on rain.
Yes.
I got you. This is a new format, and we got 10 guys competing. Instead of the 10 outs you usually gotten around, it's down to 7, so it's a new format. And the names are certainly names to get excited about. It's like a dunk contest with Jordan in his prime. You have the best power hitter in Stanton, who's got 5 home runs that have traveled at least 450 feet. You got the great story of coming home for Justin Morneau. You got the hometown kid in Dozier. The defending champion Cespedes is here. That's intriguing in itself. The event and the names do sell it a little bit more this year than maybe we've had in years past or recent years.
Well, certainly, I think all these guys are very exciting players, but you look at the 5 players on each team, the 5 contestants on each team, and the real strategy is, well, do I go first to put pressure on the people behind me, or do I go last so I know exactly how many home runs I have to hit in order to get that bye in the second round?
Yeah, I just want to get it going. I'd love to lead it off and just get that thing going. But as John Kruk was talking about before is that's 7 outs now. It's a little bit of a different animal. There's no getting your feet wet.
Right.
It's get ready right now. You better start hitting early and often and getting in that groove. And we talked about that pitcher becomes huge. And him getting locked into that groove early is important with that 7 outs.
During the baseball tonight here, we showed all these heat maps and where guys like it. Now, heat maps when somebody's trying to get you out and you get a mistake.
Right.
Here, you don't have to swing. You know, there are no strikes. So in Dozier's case, his brother's here. We saw he wants everything up here.
Yeah.
The other guys, so are you pitching? Do you think they're pitching to a target? Like, this is where you want it. I'm throwing it there every time.
Absolutely. Their job, that's why I said during this rain delay, it's more important for that pitcher. His job is to throw the ball where you like it so you don't have to manipulate the batter. You don't want the batter to try to create. You want the batter just to be able to touch the ball. And it's very important to put it in that spot.
And to find that speed, the velocity. You know, some guys like it a little softer. They can really do the work for it. Some guys want it a little firmer. So that's something you work out with your pitcher and the familiarity you have of hitting off them typically.
But going back to those 7 outs is really important. You cannot, you can't get your feet wet. You have to start going right away. So one of the things to look for is the patience of the hitter.
Yeah.
You know, you start taking a couple pitches where they may be strikes, but they're not exactly where you want to hit the ball. Then everybody starts going, well,
is he going to swing?
Maybe boo.
Right. Is he going to swing?
So be patient. Absolutely.
It's a hard thing to do. And then you go 0 for 4 and have 4 of your 7 outs, no home runs. You start pressing a little bit.
No doubt.
We're in a rain delay. We hope to start the Home Run Derby 2014 very shortly. But Monday at the All-Star game means you find out who is going to be the starting pitchers and the lineups they're going to face. We'll get to the lineups in a moment. We now know that Mike Matheny has tabbed his own guy, Adam Wainwright, to start this All-Star game. He's been absolutely outstanding this season. He's 12-4. His ERA is best in the big leagues. He has learned to pitch when he doesn't have his best stuff, and he hopes to have it tomorrow night.
Aside from having the ability to win 2 World Series with the St. Louis Cardinals, I think this has got to be one of the highlights of my baseball career to this point. Just one of the coolest things I could ever say I did was to start the Big League All-Star game, and I'm just incredibly happy and fortunate to be placed in this situation. I can't wait to go out and hopefully lead our National League squad to a victory.
The numbers line up, and it's obvious that this is a high-caliber pitcher who I believe in some degree has never been even given the amount of respect that he's due. So I'm honored to be able to put this title on him and watch what he does, not just with this, but with the remainder of our season.
Really nice for Mike Matheny to be able to say to Adam, I'd like you to be the starter here. The numbers certainly support it. This is really not a big debate or a knock on Kershaw or Wainwright, but certainly you understand why Wainwright gets this and the idea that the Cardinals and Matheny earned this by getting the World Series last year.
You reward your players for giving you the opportunity to be the manager of the All-Star game. And Mike Matheny certainly rewarded Adam Wainwright. Now, he was very good. He was very good. But there is something to say about the man that's making the decisions to be able to put his own guy out there to start the game.
I think it's the right decision, and it's fun to see Mike Matheny and the joy he got in being able to reward a guy that's been so good to him, to the organization. Adam Wainwright talked about 2 world championships that he's gotten to win with the Cardinals. So to be able to reward your ace, probably having the best year of his great career, I think is a great move, the right move. And with Kershaw, we talk about he's the best pitcher on the planet in my eyes. But he did miss a month of the season with injuries this year, so he doesn't have the innings necessarily that allow him to match up with
both
Wainwright.
guys would have been humbled by it, and clearly Wainwright looks at this as one of the highlights of his career. Let's take a look at the lineups, and every time you look at one of the 2 lineups, you always say to yourself, how in the world can they be beat? How do you get these guys out? Because you do go 9 deep. You know, this was the glory days of the Yankees when they had 9 All-Stars, it feels like.
Well, as good as the hitters are, and you can see that list, and it just continues with the guys that are on the bench, the pitchers are just that good too.
Yeah.
You know, there's a saying that good pitching beats good hitting. Well, disciplined play beats great whatever all day long, and that's what it's about at the All-Star game. It's about managing your emotions and taking advantage of mistakes when the mistakes happen.
Yeah, and not that we're ever surprised necessarily by the lineup, but I find one of the exciting things about the All-Star game is when the lineups are finally revealed and you actually get to see it on paper and you just kind of go, wow, wow. And you look at that National League lineup and you see the athleticism, the power, the speed in that outfield with Carlos Gomez hitting 9th. a lot of fun.
Well, I'm going to tell you one, I'm going to do you one better. It's something when you see your own name in there, and you got guys like Griffey or Bonds or McGuire or Larry Walker. Or
somehow
whoever
you're
around
in the
you.
middle of
You're
it
like,
all.
oh my goodness!
Right.
And then you get a chance in '99, as you pointed out earlier, to face Pedro Martinez, who was the best in the world at the time.
That's how you can slow a lineup like that down. Martinez struck out 5 of the 6 men that he faced on his way to winning the Most Valuable Player Award of the 1999 home run, I should say All-Star game. This home run derby is in a rain delay. We'll come back. Of course, John Kruk, Chris Berman standing by. So are the players down in the field. We've talked National League. We'll talk about the American League starting lineup and the starting pitcher as we continue from the Gillette Home Run Derby.
At what point in a friendly competition does the mercy rule come into effect? Introducing Fusion Pro Glide, rebuilt with FlexBall technology, makes maximum contact over tricky contours and gets virtually every hair. New FlexBall for the Fusion Pro Glide. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Nissan Pathfinder with intuitive four-wheel drive. An adventure worth sharing. Nissan, innovation that excites.
Oh, great. Can I get this too?
Yeah. Foot-long sweet onion chicken teriyaki.
Wait for it.
With jalapenos and pepper jack cheese.
Toasted.
Five-tool phenom Mike Trout powers the long ball with his favorite, the Subway Sweet Onion Chicken Teriyaki, made the way he says.
Subway, longtime sponsor of Little League.
Welcome to the 21st century. I could do that.
You want to slip on a dress and give it a shot?
Hey, Marty, you should have killed me where you had the chance. You want the kids? Come get them.
This house until we knock it down. So
Courageous, but insane.
The Expendables 3 starts August 15th.
Summer is loaded with little adventures. So make the most of every sun-filled summer day with a refreshing Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. It's crisp beer with the natural flavor of lemonade that says, come on by, without having to say a single word. Our family's been brewing beers in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin for 6 generations. And this one says summer. So grab a summer shandy and join us out here.
This is where the legends live, waiting for someone with better innovation. From the brand that reinvented the t-shirt comes the Under Armour Speedform Apollo. This is our rocket ship.
Now, use your MasterCard at any restaurant, and MasterCard will make a donation to Stand Up to Cancer.
Hey, guys. I just want to thank you for standing up to cancer. Okay, I gotta go. What time do you guys close?
6:30.
Ah! Girls, thank you for standing up to cancer. Thank you for standing up to cancer.
Getting together for a great cause?
Pretty sweaty.
Priceless. Spend $10 or more with your MasterCard when you dine out, and MasterCard will donate up to $4 million to Stand Up to Cancer, one precious cent at a time.
The 2014 Gillette Home Run Derby is brought to you by Gillette Fusion Pro Glide with FlexBall technology, available at Target. And in part by MasterCard, helping the fight against cancer with your MasterCard this summer. Learn more at priceless.com/causes. And by your friends at Southern Comfort. Live comfortably, drink responsibly. Well, that's the Mall of America, where Metropolitan Stadium, the home of the Twins, was from 1961 to 1981. Of course, one of the largest malls. It's in Bloomington, it's suburban, and that's the old Minneapolis and St. Paul, and the handshake, and the Twins who came up here as the old Washington Senators in 1961 played there. Well, that was there, that's here, where it is raining, as a famous resident of Hibbing, Minnesota, Robert Zimmerman, you might know him as Bob Dylan once sang, a hard rain is going to fall, babe. So that's why we have a little delay in the Gillette Home Run Derby, but we're hoping to get things going, and we have some young guns ready to step up to the plate.
Downtown goes Frazier. Ripped to center field and goodbye.
The kid is a stud. He's unbelievable.
Todd Frazier, who really has become a spark plug for the Cincinnati Reds, the resurgent Cincinnati Reds. And here, of course, are your lineups. The National League is the captain Troy Tulowitzki and Giancarlo Stanton we talked to before, and Yasiel Puig, Pedro talked to before. And here's Todd Frazier and Justin Morneau. The American League, the captain Jose Bautista has selected, of course, the defending champion Yoenis Cespedes. Adam Jones, local hero Brian Dozier, the Twins, the second baseman, and Josh Donaldson, an interesting player, third baseman, the starting third baseman for the American League. But Todd Frazier from Toms River, New Jersey, he's with our Buster Olney. He's been on the stage before. This, admittedly, a bit different.
And Todd Frazier's been told he's actually going first. They're talking to him now about how much time he would need to get going. Tell me what you thought when you realized you're going to be first in line for this derby.
Excited. I'm the only one that really knows when they're going. So I know the time, I know the schedule, I can get ready, and it's a little advantage for me. But at the same time, you got to go up there and swing. So pretty excited. Hopefully this weather holds up. We'll see.
Now, the guy that you chose to pitch to you during the Derby is someone who, from what I hear, basically beat you up a lot when you were a kid. Your brother, Charlie, your older brother, he told me that your father would come home and your two older brothers didn't want you to play with them. And what he would say to them is, I'm going to take the ball away unless you let Todd play. But you feel like that helped you.
Helped me out big time because I was a little brat when I was younger. And if I didn't get my way, I would complain to mom and dad all the time. But that was one of the instances where it helped me out a lot. And, playing against older competition, my brother's friends, finally getting a little older. And I used to beat them too, actually, which made me feel even better, run around the house, scream and shout. And if they're watching right now, they know who it is because we used to play football all the time, baseball, whatever kind of ball we had, we made a game out of it. And I would always come out on top when I got older and older because I'd finally learned something from it.
Charlie told me that he said to you during the wintertime, hey, if you ever do a home run derby, think of me throwing out the pitch. Tell me about the call you made to ask him to do it.
Yeah, it was funny. He was in Mexico for his anniversary, and I had to text him because he wouldn't answer, but he said, hell yeah, man, I'm excited. Let's go. So I knew I had him there. He just got home Saturday and then flew out Sunday night, and it's been a whirlwind for him, too. He's pretty excited. He looks comfortable out there, and I just tell him, just throw strikes, and I'll figure out a way.
So when we do get word that the Derby's going to start, how long would it take you?
5-10 minutes. I'll be ready to go. I'm pretty quick with it. Just get a quick stretch, maybe about 10-15 swings, and we'll be ready to go.
Todd, thanks.
You got it.
Chris, back to you.
All right, Buster, Todd, thank you. He's one of those guys, as he said, whatever type of ball it was to kick out there. He won I think at 11, a pass, bunt, and kick competition, as well as hitting a home run and pitching and going 4 for 4 when Toms River, New Jersey, Crucky won the Little League World Series back in 1998. So, I mean, you kidding? Warm up, he doesn't care. I love his attitude.
Yeah, he's my dark horse in this thing. I got Stanton winning it, but I got Todd Frazier as my dark horse. He just seems to enjoy this atmosphere. I know his brother was out hugging all the players and acting like he was a member of the All-Star game, thinking he's going to play tomorrow. But Todd Frazier's a guy, this is his breakout year, 19 home runs at the break, and I think that, he has a chance in this thing, a slim chance because of all the big, powerful guys that are in it. But I think he can make a dent in this thing.
The whole thing is great for him. He and his wife had talked to them last night. They became new parents here the last few months, so this is gravy. Look, he's in the cage. Let's take a few hacks. Ravi, let's hope we're ready to roll.
I agree, Boomer. Thank you. And there is Todd Frazier, a 3.5-month-old now, who has made the trip as well. So it is a family affair for Todd Frazier. He, of course, is dealing with some really good teams in the National League Central, but he's focused right now on this home run derby. Tomorrow night, he's going to focus on a guy that can absolutely shutdown on offense. That's Felix Hernandez. He's going to get the start for the American League. No-brainer, an easy pick, by the way, for the manager, John Farrell.
Well, he's been the best pitcher in the American League for the first half. Absolutely dominant and put away stuff.
He's got put away stuff, and tomorrow night he's facing a filthy lineup. Here's Felix.
Just an honor to be here and be part of the July Classic. It's always fun. So I just got to go out there and do what I have to do. Just throw zeros out there to make my team win. And just to be the first Venezuelan guy is something special.
You get the sense, too, that Felix, and when you look at his numbers, and we saw Wainwright like first. This is the best season that Felix Hernandez, who's got Cy Young, has ever had.
Yeah, when Tanaka struggled his last few outings and is now not an option for this, he became a simple decision. And think about that year he's having. He's done it at times with tremendous velocity, but there's nights he doesn't have as great velocity, yet he's still a dominant power pitcher, and doing it in the American League West, which the way the Angels are swinging the bat, the Oakland A's, obviously Texas can swing, especially in that ballpark. He's doing it in a division that's very difficult to pitch at a high level and leading the Mariners into playoff contention.
I wonder, you said you would kind of sidle up next to pitchers. Both of you guys said that. What do you think the theory, the philosophy is when somebody like Felix or Wainwright or Kershaw has to face a lineup? Because you don't do that. You don't face lineups like that. What do you think the approach is?
Well, go ahead. I think they're great. They're great. They're the best pitchers in the world. They're great at their crafts. We're talking about Wainwright, who has a 183 earned run average. So I think he fears no one. Obviously, he has a ton of respect for an American League lineup that's tremendous. But I think pitchers understand when they're ace pitchers, if they're executing their game plan.
Doesn't matter who's up.
Exactly.
Really?
Yeah, that's execution of the game plan. That's exactly what I was going to say. And you know what? Making adjustments during the at-bat. Sometimes you don't have your A stuff. You don't have your good fastball. So maybe you don't go to that. Or maybe you just show it to set up another pitch. You know, that's what all these pitchers do. That's why they're all-stars. It's execution. You can't make mistakes in the big leagues. The hitters are just too good.
Good news, while the weather has come from over our shoulder, you can definitely see some skies brightening and some blue up there. So hopefully this home run derby starts relatively soon. As you look down towards right field, which is where we are, it's actually over home plate where the skies are getting lighter. The American League lineup, Derek Jeter leading off his final All-Star game. He's made 14 of them, started at 9 of them. Mike Trout, really good news for home run derby fans. He has said in the not-too-distant future, he's going to participate in one of these things, if not more than one. That's great news. Cabrera's done this before. Bautista finished second a few years ago. Nelson Cruz, of all the guys from the Orioles you'd think would be in the Derby, it would have been Nelson Cruz, but he's not in the Derby. Adam Jones is.
Well, the one consistent thing that has been about the American League has been how much power they bring to the lineup. And you look at it, you know, Jeter, you know, obviously Jeter's not the power guy that he used to be, but Mike Trout on down, everyone, you're talking about multi-digit home runs. These guys can absolutely bomb the baseball.
Yeah, and think about Adam Jones, your 7-hitter, Josh Donaldson, your 8-hitter. These are guys with tremendous power. And Adam Jones, a guy who struggled a little bit to start the season in April, he's been as hot and as consistent as anyone the last 2.5 months of the season.
And you talk about a philosophy. He says, swing into my ice, tell me no. 16 home runs, 11 walks on the season.
Right.
That's Adam Jones. He is not going to let that fastball go.
Adam Jones, of course, the American League East. We saw the Orioles last night. They got a win from the youngster, Kevin Gausman. Yankees in the American League East have been dealt a whole bunch of injuries, and yet Derek Jeter and company still find themselves entering the second half with a chance to get it into a postseason. He didn't necessarily believe he'd be at the All-Star game, but he is, and it's been a long time since his first one. Earlier today, Aaron had a chance to talk with number 2 of the Yankees.
All right, take me back to your first All-Star game and your memories of that time.
1998 in Colorado.
Yeah.
Memories I have was I was scared to death. You know, I was sort of hesitant to speak to anyone. You know, a lot of guys are in the clubhouse that I grew up watching and admiring and respecting. And now you're in the same locker room for them. So I don't even know if I said anything.
All right, fast forward now, your thoughts on your last All-Star game and what you hope to gain most out of this experience, you know, besides winning for the American.
Right, yeah, I mean, the thing I enjoy most about the All-Star games is getting the opportunity to meet the guys that you play against you don't normally have a chance to converse with during the course of a game or the course of a season. So I've always enjoyed getting to know guys. You know, I've always gone out of my way to introduce myself and talk to them a little bit, and that's what makes it fun for us as players.
Mariano went through this last year, last All-Star game last year. What have you taken from him and what all that he went through and kind of applying it?
Absolutely nothing. I didn't even speak to him about it because, you know, I was injured at the time. I was down in Florida. I saw highlights of the game. I didn't watch the game. It's kind of difficult for me to watch games when I'm not playing. But it's a little bit different. You know, Mo's last All-Star game, he was in New York. So I never come in anything with expectations. I just want to come, enjoy myself, have fun, and whatever happens, happens.
A lot of your peers, your friends, ex-teammates, I've been asked a lot, define Derek Jeter's career and what makes him so great. What do you view as your overwhelming strength as a player?
Well, one, I wouldn't call myself great, no. The thing that I've prided myself on in my career is consistency. Right. You know, I feel as though I have a job to do each and every day, every year, and I take a lot of pride in being consistent. I want the organization to pretty much know what to expect when I take the field. And, you know, I've been doing this to be 18 full years, parts of 20, but for the most part, I think they've known what to expect.
Am I right to think, I've always viewed you, and I played with you just a few months, but I said, he is genuinely the most confident player I ever played with. Do you see yourself in that way, and where'd that come from?
I have a lot of confidence. I think you have to have confidence in your ability. I mean, I think the stronger you are mentally, I think the better you're going to perform. So I've always had confidence. Anytime I'm in a situation, I tend to look back and think back to times that I had success, and I think that's helped me out throughout my career. So yeah, I'd say that's a fair assessment.
You play a physically demanding position, shortstop, and you've been relatively healthy throughout your career. What do you attribute that longevity to?
Hard work. I work extremely hard. You know, last year I missed pretty much the entire year, and I think I was told up until that point I'd missed 80-something games due to injury in my career. So I've been blessed. I've been fortunate to avoid major injuries. I dislocated my shoulder once, but other than that, it's just been minor things. But I work extremely hard at it. You know, I don't take too much time off in the off season. You know, I have my routine. I stick to it, and I'm pretty disciplined. So I think I'd attribute it to that.
Speaking of the injury and missing so much time last year, how difficult has it been to kind of refine that form, if you will, going into this year?
It took a lot longer than I thought. You know, I figured a few weeks of spring training, I'll be right back at it. But it took a while. You play this game, I mean, you know as well as anyone, you play this game every day for a reason. Right. You need to get out there, you need to get into the flow of the game and have a feel for it. And I missed that last year, so it's taken me a while, but I think I'm getting better and better as the season goes on.
All right, I'm going to get you a little reflective here a little bit. Yankee captain Derek Jeter. When I say that to you, what do you think of?
My job. You know, it's my job. It's been my job for a while, and you know, I take a lot of pride in playing for the Yankees, putting this uniform on, getting to know my teammates. It takes time to get to know people, and you know, I think in order to lead people, you have to get to know them, and I've always tried to take the time to do that.
All right, when you close your eyes at night and think of that last regular season game this year at Yankee Stadium, do you have a picture or a vision of what that's going to be like?
I don't want to have one. Yeah. You know, I just want to go with the flow. I don't have any expectations. I don't know what it's going to be like. You know, hopefully we're headed to the playoffs, so I never know when my last game is going to be. But I'm trying not to have any preconceived notions on what may happen.
Have you allowed yourself in any way to kind of step back and enjoy some of the tributes that are more to come? Have you enjoyed going through that?
You know, I have. They've all been unique to where I've been. You know, they've all put some nice twists on it, whether it's the paddleboard in Anaheim or the two from the scoreboard at Wrigley Field. I mean, the list goes on, but they've all been unique and special and much appreciated.
The biggest challenge you think you face in retirement?
I don't know. I mean, I don't want to make plans right away. this will be the first time that I won't be on a schedule. So, you know, I'm going to try to travel around and do some things, but try to stay away from schedules for a while.
All right, the sun is starting to break through here as you take a look at this numbers. Most starts at shortstop in the history of the All-Star game. This is going to be Jeter's 14th game, but his 9th start. So he will pass Luis Aparicio and fall in behind Ozzie Smith and Cal Ripken Jr. on the all-time list. You played alongside him, Aaron, so what was your takeaway from where he's at now as he's 40 years young?
Yeah, you know, he's always been a guarded guy, obviously, especially with the media. And I think this year, and I've talked to Barry about this, I think he's stepped back a little bit and allowed himself to enjoy it and kind of sink it in and treasure each and every moment. I think he's doing that. I think we'll see him do that this week. I would expect that the Minnesota Twins, Minnesota has something very special planned, something during the game that will really honor and recognize a great career.
I've seen him smile more on the field than I've seen him smile in the past, and obviously we're paying much more attention, this being his last year. But I look for the team. I look for Farrell to do something nice for Derek. You know, the guy has just been fantastic throughout his career, and this is the last chance Major League Baseball on this kind of stage is going to have an opportunity, because we don't know if they're going to make it to the
And nobody's crying for him or feeling bad for him, but he is somebody who does not relish the spotlight. And this whole year has ultimately, even though he seemed to bring it on himself, been about being in the spotlight.
Yeah, he may not relish the spotlight, but he handles it awfully well.
Oh, yeah, no doubt.
And him being on this stage tonight, leading off tomorrow night, I should say, for the American League, I think is fitting, and I would expect for him to perform at a high level.
I mean, that was awkward when Cal was moved from third to short in Seattle. He didn't like that. Like, this isn't what I'm here to do. Let's just win the game. Jeter's a win the game, let's play well kind of guy.
Yeah, he is. You know, what they did for Mariano last year, him going down the field, being on the field by himself, look for something like that to happen tonight.
That's Tuesday night when Derek Jeter will hit leadoff for the American League. Meantime, Home Run Derby now is zeroing in on us. You could actually see some sun break through, so we are closing in on the 2014 Derby. And we had your picks about a half hour ago, just for people who might have forgotten what you said or given you some time to rethink it. I heard a lot of Todd Frazier love from Berman and from Kruk.
You know, I'm looking at the field and going, these are all not only guys that hit a lot of home runs, but a lot of power. But I'm sticking with the ultimate power. Giancarlo Stanton to win this thing against Joey Bats, the beer league softball swing in the finals.
I've got Giancarlo Stanton as well in the finals against Yoenis Cespedes.
Right.
And I think his veteranship, winning it last year, he's going to do a Ken Griffey Jr. and be the reigning and retain his title of the Home Run Derby King.
Jose Bautista's got 11 home runs at Target Field at 59 at-bats. He had 3 in one game. That was back May 15th of 2011. He's the runner-up. Yasiel Puig wins this bad boy. Let's get a Home Run Derby started. The rain delay is all but complete, and the players are coming out, and they're carrying the wood with them. With Aaron Boone and Barry Larkin, Carl Ravitch, everybody, fingers crossed. Here we go.
Come fly with me, come fly, let's fly away.
There's still a genuine sense of wonder over the long ball. You get to see the greatest players in the game watching the Home Run Derby, putting their hands on their head. Whoa! I go back almost 30 years and seeing it, and I love seeing it now.
Once I get you up there,
The first one I ever saw was 1986. Darryl Strawberry hit the speaker. Junior Griffey in Baltimore.
That may have hit the warehouse, and they announce it did.
The show Josh Hamilton put on was beyond belief because it was Yankee Stadium, and the homers seemingly kept getting farther and farther.
Oh, it's tattooed! Gone again!
Of course, Robbie Canona's dad. It's a father and a son playing baseball.
This is a show and a half! Good! Let's fly!
Everybody gets to be a kid again on Derby night. That's why we love it.
Welcome, everyone, to the 2014 Gillette Home Run Derby. I'm Chris Berman, and on behalf of ESPN, we welcome everybody around the United States. We welcome everybody around the world, and we welcome everybody here in Minnesota to target practice at Target Field. It's been a wait, but what the heck? Good things come to those who wait. We're lining up our players. We have 10 of the best sluggers in the majors, and they expect to put on a show for all of us tonight. So before we meet them individually, let's give a round of applause because officially the All-Star festivities are underway. Now, let's meet the sluggers who will take to the skies over the Twin Cities tonight. We will start with the visiting, if you will, National League. First, the captain of the National League. He's tied for the NL lead with 21 home runs, leads baseball with a .345 batting average from the Colorado Rockies, Troy Tulowitzki. Selected to his first All-Star team. He enters the Derby tonight with 19 homers. He was a Little League World Series champ. Why not a Home Run Derby champ from the Cincinnati Reds, Todd Frazier. One of the most powerful sluggers in the game today, maybe built for this Home Run Derby. Tied for the National League lead in homers with 21 from the Miami Marlins, Giancarlo Stanton. Only Harmon Killebrew and Ken Herbeck have hit more home runs as a Minnesota Twin. He's the 2006 American League MVP, the champion of the 2008 Home Run Derby. Now with the Colorado Rockies, but forever he'll be a Minnesota Twin. Welcome home, Justin Morneau. One of the most electrifying players in the game today. He makes his Home Run Derby and All-Star debut. Get used to it. From the Los Angeles Dodgers, Yasiel Puig. And now on to the American League. The captain of the AL competing in his third Home Run Derby. He's hit 11 homers in 14 games here at Target Field as a visitor. One of only 12 men ever to win back-to-back league home run titles from the Toronto Blue Jays, Jose Bautista. He hit 18 homers last year at second base in this yard. He already has 18 this year. From your Minnesota Twins, Brian Dozier. He has hit over 30 home runs in each of the previous two seasons, has 16 homers so far this year. From the first place Baltimore Orioles, Adam Jones. Starting third baseman for the American League in the All-Star game, already has hit 20 homers this season. His team has the best record in baseball. They have the most All-Stars from the Oakland Athletics, Josh Donaldson. He lit up the night in New York City last July. He is the reigning champion of the Home Run Derby. From again the Oakland Athletics, Yoenis Cespedes. Ladies and gentlemen, the participants in this, the 2014 Gillette Home Run Derby. So there they are with Todd Frazier, the first batter, warming up in the cage. Some changes this year to the Derby. If you're just joining us, we're an hour late with a rain delay, so maybe you don't know all of this. We got 10 hitters this year, but instead of the 10 outs, 7 outs a hitter. Head-to-head competition after the first round. The top first round totals from each league advance to the third round. So if you're the best, you get a bye. Second and third best home run totals from each league in the first round go head-to-head in the second round, and a swing off, a bat off, whatever you want to call it, will be used if needed to decide advancement. So hi there, Chris Berman along with John Kruk. Good things come to those who wait, as we say. And so we got some power. We got a little, 9 of the 10 are right-handed hitters. And in talking to the guys that know this park pretty well, they say the little bit of the power alleys right down the line. That's where the breeze helps you the most. Although, do these guys need help?
No, these guys need no help. When you watch them take batting practice, they were hitting balls. The righties were hitting balls out of right field, center field, left field, of course. And Justin Morneau was trying to pull everything, which he has to do if he's going to win this thing for a second time. I just think, with Giancarlo Stanton in this thing, Chris, he has to be the odds-on favorite without question.
Now, look, a great scene on the field at the moment as some of the great Minnesota Twins. There's, of course, Big Dave, Paul Molitor. These are not so much the Twins, but those from the Twin Cities. There's Joe Mauer, the perennial all-star, been an MVP, and, of course, Jack Morris. So some of the great players that we have seen from the Twin Cities out there throwing the first pitch. So let's take a look as they celebrate, a look around Target Field, which is really a sight to behold. Our dimensions. And there you go down to left field where the wall is only 8 feet, if you will. But as you notice, you get around to center, which is 404. And then to right center and right field, we have a 23-foot wall. Now, the icons you see popping up on the screen after home runs will show how far from home plate the ball lands. Also, on our scoreboard, we'll show you the projected distance the ball might have gone if it didn't collide with an object. And hopefully, I mean an object like a seat or something like that. Now, let's look at the Taco Bell road to the title. The bottom 2 hitters from each league will be eliminated after the first round. So you need Joe Lenardi here to go through the bracket, but we'll do it for you. Then it's head-to-head competition after the first round. The end of the night, 1 American Leaguer and 1 National Leaguer, Crocky, will compete for the championship. So that's a change, and I think good. If the All-Star game is worth something, this also at least somewhat for league bragging rights. Another thing we need to know is the 7th and final out is the Gillette Orange Flex Ball. For each Flex Ball home run hit, Gillette and Major League Baseball will combine to make a donation of $10,000. So here is your bracket. Study it. We'll have a quiz in 3 minutes.